All right, hello, welcome. This is going to be Lab 9 Deed Research. This lab is going to focus on locating courthouse evidence via Central Appraisal District and public records websites. What we're going to do is we're going to go through a demonstration of this process, and then I'm going to task you with locating courthouse evidence on your own. As far as that task is concerned, you're very welcome to try to follow along as we go, or you can complete watching the video, this exercise, and then you can then go and complete the task on your own as well. So for this exercise, we have a client who's interested in purchasing a lot that's located on the northwest corner of US 87 and County Road 357 near Atkins, Texas. The client has stated that they need existing deeds, plats, and any other relevant records. Essentially, you're speaking with the client that is in the discovery process of trying to identify if they're actually wanting to move forward um, with additional research on a piece of property. So you could see here for the assignment, I've provided for you two links. One to the Wilson Central Appraisal District's website, and the other to the Wilson County Public Records website. So as we talked about earlier in lecture this week, the difference between these two entities and what they mean to us. So now we're going to put a little bit of that information into action. So we're going to go ahead and assume that we already knew this was in Wilson County. So we're going to go ahead and first just go directly to the Central Appraisal District's website. And so y'all know this is my process to doing all of my deed research. Almost every single day. Uh, and hopefully it makes a little bit sense to you. Some surveyors may consider it to be a bit overkill, but I don't believe in being overprepared. So that's pretty much what we're going to do today. So here we're located at the Wilson County Appraisal District's page. If you've done any kind of deed research in the state of Texas via the appraisal districts in the past, or if you own a home, you know that this is a very common layout for most of the websites. Most of them in Texas go through the exact same companies to build their websites, as well as what we're about to do now, their interactive maps. That's the first thing we're actually going to go directly to. I know if we have parcel numbers, we have addresses, we can do a straight property search, but I'm going to go straight into this interactive map. So again, this is a GIS that is going to be, in this case, hosted by BIS Client. Is a very common company that provides the GISs for most central appraisal districts, though some do have their own internal GIS. So here we're going to go ahead and follow 87, and then we're going to locate County Road 357. So here's 356. That means we're not far. Here we go. We've got County Road 357 and US 87. You'll notice there's a lot on the screen right now. Within this GIS, you're able to turn on and off layers as you need. One thing that I'll often recommend to people is when you're first trying to locate a parcel, you probably know where you're trying to navigate to. So turn off that parcel layer, maybe even turn off that abstract layer. And that's going to make navigating this map a lot faster, a lot smoother. And if you're in an area that maybe doesn't have as a good internet, that can make a very huge difference on the effectiveness of using a GIS of this size. But we do know where we're going here with US 87 and County Road 357. We know our client told us it was the northwest tract, so it's probably this one here. We know they're interested in development. So one of the things that I often do too is I'll change my base map once I get to where I'm going to an imagery base map. So this is going to essentially continue to overlay our information the same. I wait till I get there just because imagery is going to move slower. You could tell even here, especially because I'm recording, it has some lag. Another thing that's useful is you can continue to look in their base maps. This county, Wilson County, does not have it, but sometimes other counties have imagery flown specifically for their county. And when they have that, you can get really, really high resolution imagery directly from their pages. So Wilson County doesn't have that, but that's just something to take a look at when you get the chance. Let's say they don't have it. Let me make sure they don't have it as a layer. No, they do not. Okay. So we can see here, this is a open lot based on the age of this imagery. Not saying it's not developed at this point or in the process of being developed, but the most recent imagery available, which usually isn't going to be more than a few months old, uh, shows that it's currently empty. We can click on it. We could see, whatever the parcel name is set up as. We can identify, okay, it's a 10-acre tract, and just general information. Pull the owners, how to contact them. But down here at the deed information, this is the important one. We're identifying this deed number. So they don't have volume and pages, but they do have that instrument number. And this is really what we are here on this page for right now. So let's go ahead, right click, and copy that number. And then what we would do is, now that we've acquired that, we would go to their public records page. So I've already got that for y'all located. So go ahead and go back to your lab, click that link, and that's going to open up the Wilson County's public records page. Another specific reason why I wanted to give y'all the link, the direct links to these, and especially with the public records, there are a lot of companies that will just sell you these public records. And sometimes they offer really, really great ways to search and to pull it. They do some of the legwork for you. But I don't need y'all going on to Google and clicking, viruses into your computer by accident. So go ahead and go click the link for the public records. And then here we could paste that instrument number. We don't need to adjust anything else, and go ahead and just search it. Immediately we see right here, we have this information. We see the grantee is the Wilson County Memorial Hospital District, which is exactly what we saw on the appraisal district's page. So let's go ahead and click that. And in just a moment, this should start looking familiar to y'all as we click through and we start kind of reviewing some of this information. Well, you'll see we've got these field notes here. Those of you that have completed Lab 5, hopefully all of you, this feels very, very familiar. So this is that same tract that y'all have already done your first attempt at boundary reconstruction on. Also includes that plat that y'all had for that lab. That is all located here. Obviously, you can tell these are unofficial copies, so they're much, much lower resolutions. But what I want to also point out to y'all here on this first page is all the exceptions to conveyance and warranty. So these are going to be our right-of-ways, our easements, and any other specific information that's going to be relevant during this land sale. And this is probably still relevant to you. So we could see here we have all of the volume and pages listed for these documents. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go ahead and come back up here to the top tab on the public records page, and hit plus that. And then we're going to start gathering this information. So our first one, we have the royalty contract dated July 12th, 1922. It's going to be volume 118, page 327. We know it's in Wilson County. So 118, 327. Let's run that search. Just 118 space 327 is sufficient. We can see up here, we have that volume and page up here. It's a royalty contract. We can see all the specific information related to that. And a big thing that your client is most likely to be interested in seeing the 1/2 interest in and to all of the oil, gas, and other minerals in and under and that may be produced from the following describer lands situated in Wilson County, Texas, to wit, essentially are going to go to these individuals. So if your client is specifically interested in developing for the prospect of collecting minerals for drilling, setting a well, they're going to need to understand that they're going to lose half of any of that profit immediately to these people. So that's already set in place. So that's going to be a really good piece of evidence for us to provide to our clients. Other documents. So every time you click back, you'll know whatever, like if I was on page 2 here now and click back, it'll take me to page 2. But whatever page you're on in your last tab, it resets. It's obnoxious, but computers can be that way. So our next one, we have a right-of-way easement, volume 824, page 598. So 824, 598. There we go. We've got it right here. It's a right-of-way easement. Let's pop it up. Let's take a look. And we can see we have all of the specific information we need. It is a right-of-way for Guadalupe Valley Electric Cooperative. So you can imagine they're probably trying to ensure that we're able to get power to this area. Next one up, number 3 of 5, volume 984, page 830. No results. That's because I have the brain of a goldfish. 984, not 934. There we go. You've identified that other right-of-way easement. Again, same thing. It's to the Guadalupe Valley Electric Cooperative. And we'll go ahead and move on to number 4. This is an easement agreement for drainage and utilities. So it's going to be volume 1680, page 400. There we go. Easement agreement. Open that up. We see it specifically involving the Frontier Self-Storage that we located next door. And then our last, 5th but not least, there's a non-standard plat/variance application that was dated in 2016. It's volume 1924, page 469. 1924, 469. I get no results found. Maybe I did the same thing. 1924, 469. We can come in. We can confirm that is not the case. So we know there's supposed to be a record for a plat variance from Frontier Self-Storage to the Wilson County Development Review Committee. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy the Frontier Self-Storage, and we're going to search them instead. You can see there is a lot of different records. So if we search here, if we look for something that was potentially maybe in 1924, well, we found something right here, a variance request, 1924, page 468. Likely that there was a small typo on the other document. Well, this is 11 pages, so it's going to be pages 468 to 479. Not a big deal. There's ways to overcome it. If you search for something and you don't find it immediately, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist or it's not available. Just think about maybe how we're searching for things. So we have instrument numbers, we have dates, we have volumes and pages, we have grantors and grantees, sometimes even addresses and descriptions can all be useful when searching public records. So now that I'm over that, we've got this. We've now can review this a little bit and see what it is that they're trying to do. What is this plat variance? Because that's probably highly relevant. So they own a subdivision that's located here. They're calling it the Frontier Subdivision. This is all preliminary information. So you can see nothing's actually filled in. So their looking to create a subdivision. They've got all of their specific rules associated with it. And most interestingly, they have that proposed subdivision design. So we see that's our property. That's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lots that they're trying to put in there that were identified earlier. Let's see all of the specific legal requirements being stated. You can see here topographic information is obtained. So we can see its interval rates of 1 feet. We know that's not here. Obviously, there are no contours. We move on to our next page. Look at that. We've now got our topo data. There was a site survey that was done as part of this plat variance in trying to get this subdivision approved. There's a lot of good records. Question is, what happened with this? This was recorded in 2016. We see here that has not yet happened. There aren't any roads or retaining ditches or ponds or anything of that sort. But that is something that someone, maybe the current owner, is very interested in. Maybe it's something our client's interested in. These are the kind of things that help you have an idea of what people maybe not just have done with land, but have tried to do with it. Gives you people that you can reference as far as trying to gather additional information. Hey, why wasn't this built? Why didn't this happen? You never know the kind of information that you may or may not gather from talking to people. So always recommend that. But now we've got a good set of information. So we're gonna, well, you can see I ran through this before I called y'all or brought y'all in here. But before I started recording. But what I want each of you to do is right here on this button, you're gonna hit add to cart. Give me one moment. All right, you can see here, I've gone ahead and cleared my cart. So you can go ahead and come through and you see, you can click add to cart on each of these different documents that we've pulled up so far. So go ahead and do that. And this is why I wanted you to see it. Go ahead and ignore that price. Leave it on all. Make sure you leave it on all and go ahead and click add. We're going to go through each of these and we're going to put them all together. And this is where services like Courthouse Direct and Texas File kind of make a case for themselves as well. You can pay a single steady fee every month for their services. But if you're going to have to pull records all the time, that can add up real fast because as you can see here in our cart, it's $48 for all 6 of these and just one job. And that's not that much money for a single job, but you add that up into dozens of surveys, a week or even more so, that number can get pretty large pretty quickly. And again, this is data that we found publicly. This isn't necessarily going to be available everywhere. So sometimes things like Texas File Courthouse Direct can have records that you'd have never found on your own because they've worked with private repositories to get that information. Let's go ahead and click Control P to open up the print, and then I want you to save your cart like this as a PDF. Go ahead and save it. Last name _ lab 9, and make sure you have all those pages on there and you get that full cart because that's essentially what I'm going to use to validate that you ran through this exercise correctly. So let's go ahead and get that saved off. Come back in here to Canvas. Once it prints, it'll pop up. I don't know why mine's printed sideways. If yours did, it's not a big deal. I'm still able to see all the relevant information that I need. We'll need to come in here on Canvas and upload it. Helps if you add the file first. Let me go ahead and go do that real quick. Do that. Click upload. All right, there we go. Click submit assignment. Hooray! We've done it. You have now completed Lab 9. You can see your submission in here just to verify you've got what's expected. You see there are all 6 of those record sets that we requested. All that information is in there, so go ahead and get that in. to me as soon as you can. And again, as I briefly mentioned earlier, this lab 9, it's going to feed directly into what you're going to do in lab 10 and then again in lab 11. They're all going to kind of culminate into the same style of assessment that you're going to have for your final projects. So really kick it in right here in lab 9. Um, Make sure you're paying attention. These are very simple labs. They're easy. Get them in on time, please. Let's get ourselves ready to wrap this semester up. Just one more time, you saw we went through the appraisal districts websites. We went to their interactive maps, their GISs. Point of that was to locate instrument numbers. Something that I do for every job ever. It's always my first point of attack when I'm trying to identify what information is available to me before I can get out into the field. There's lots of stuff out there publicly. The CADs are always going to be an amazing resource to start at first. And with that concludes everything for this week. So go ahead, get it submitted. I look forward to seeing your submissions and having y'all back for next week. All right, bye y'all.